Buenos días, es el viernes y son las 12. Hello everyone, it's Friday and it's 12 o'clock, so it's time for Community Spanish, broadcasting live every Wednesday and Friday at 12. In addition to Community Spanish, we also have Community Mandarin running, Community French running, and Children's French bedtime stories. So you're welcome to check out on our Facebook page. You can find all of the schedules of these different programs, as well as on our website on the Facebook Live page, where we have not only the schedules, but we also have a giant video library that includes all of the lessons we've done for all of our live programming. So you can find pretty much any topic that you're looking for, it will be there. You can check out anything that might be of interest. And also there are some extra worksheets that go along with several of the videos. So if you want to get some extra practice, you're welcome to check those out. A couple of quick announcements before we get into our content for today, which is going to be a repaso de por y para. So working on por and para, which is something that we could review for the rest of everyone's lives, because it's something that it presents many challenges to those of you learning Spanish. So a couple of announcements before we get into that. So as I think I mentioned in the previous video, we have a new event coming up, which is the La Familia Rocha read-along series, a read-along event. And so we're basically, as we've now published the first 2 editions in the 6-book series, which is an animated series, as in a book series, but animated, it was kind of cartoon style. That was written by Rola's director, and so about his family. So now that we've published the first 2 books, which you can now purchase on Amazon if you would like to check those out, we have kind of tried to do this, organize this event to basically celebrate these first 2 books. And so Ed, the writer of the book, will be hosting the event to do a read-along. So we encourage you to join. It's a free event. You can just kind of sit along and listen. Or if you want to purchase copies of the books for yourself so you can actually read along with him, then we encourage you to do so. So that's a kind of a new event coming up, which you can check out the Facebook event on our Facebook, or also you can find it on Eventbrite. You can find the event, because that's where you can reserve your free ticket to attend the event. So with that, those a couple of announcements about the book 2 coming out and the read-along event. Let's get into our content for today. So we're going to be, as I said, doing a review of por y para, which is something that we could review forever. But so I wanted to kind of revisit this topic, as it's something that presents a challenge for many Spanish learners. And if you have not really delved into this topic before, again, I welcome you to use our website as a resource to check out the previous videos where I introduced the concept of por y para before you come back to the review here. But for those of you who do have some experience, let's get into our review of por y para. So just a quick review first of the use before we get into our practice exercise. So por y para are very difficult to translate because they can be used in many different contexts in English. Now, in general, they're usually translated by the word for, but again, based on the context, there can be a lot of different translations for that. So to go over a little bit of when we use each one. So for por, some examples that include like expressing gratitude or an apology for something. We use por. We use it for multiplication in a math sense. We use it for frequency to talk about how many times per week or per month that you do something. We use por. We also use it to mean in terms of a kind of geography of through, along, by. So for example, going through the park, por el parque. We also use por talking about purchases. So saying like how much does something cost? So I bought this for a certain price. We also use por to mean, as it says, on behalf of or in favor of someone, like to do something in someone else's place. Also for durations of time, for transportation or communication, to talk about the method, we also use por. And then the last couple of important ones I want to highlight is the expressing a cause or a reason for something. We use por, and then also to express like authorship. So it could be who wrote this book, who sang this song. We use por for all those. So obviously that's a pretty big list of different applications. So there's kind of a lot to keep track of there. And we also have por used in a bunch of different fixed expressions. So these ones are not really conceptual in the sense of like understanding that this is why we use por. It's just learning that these are certain expressions that use por, and this is the expression. So it's just kind of to memorize, honestly. So for example, we have por adelantado, means for in advance. Por ejemplo, this is one we use a lot in Spanish class. For example, por lo menos, at least. So there's a kind of, again, a little laundry list of expressions here. But mostly I want to focus on the usage of por first. I think we're going to focus mostly on por today, and then I'll do another review video to focus a little bit more on para, and also then videos to talk about the contrast of the two. So just to get started with our use of por, we're going to do a little translation exercise. And so I welcome you to jump in with me in the comments, whether you're watching this on Facebook or on YouTube, to put in your own answers in the comments. So as I'll be kind of walking us through, but again, I would urge you to participate as much as you feel comfortable. So vamos a hacer este ejercicio. So here we're doing a translation exercise, which if you've seen any of these videos before, you know I love translation exercises because they're a really great use of being able to put all your skills in one place. Since normally, you know, we do exercises in a textbook or in a class, often we're focusing on practicing one specific skill at a time. But real life speaking, real life Spanish is not about practicing one skill at a time. You have to put everything together. So that's another reason why I like the translation approach, because it's something that's very practical of how we need to speak. So vamos a comenzar. So let's try to see if we can make these translations. And again, I welcome you to participate as much as you'd like in the comments. So, número uno, thank you for preparing lunch. So again, this is one of our, the category talked about expressing an apology or gratefulness for something. So thank you for preparing lunch. Gracias por, and then here's we need a little bit of verb vocab with preparing. So we're going to use oftentimes words that we would express with ing in English. Well, these are very commonly expressed by infinitives in Spanish. So just kind of keep that in mind as you do translations, generally speaking. So we're going to use preparar to replace preparing. And lunch is almuerzo, el almuerzo. El almuerzo. Ok, entonces vamos a repetir todo junto. Gracias por preparar el almuerzo. Muy bien. Ok, número dos. You have to write a book one time per year. Here's the frequency element. Again, so frequency, we talked about, we use por to express frequency. So saying you have to write a book. So starting with tú being our person for you, and then have to write. Remember that we spoke about this in a previous video long ago, but it's still very relevant to talk about having to do something in Spanish. We use our form of tener plus que plus the infinitive. So in this case, it's tienes que escribir. Okay, tú tienes que escribir a book, un libro. And here's where we get into the frequency. Una vez por año. Una vez por año. Okay, so again, using that por to express the frequency. Vamos a repetir todo junto once it appears. Tú tienes que escribir un libro una vez por año. The sentence a little longer. Okay, número tres. We talk for 45 minutes by phone. Again, we have duration, the 45 minutes, so we're going to use por, and also the method, so which is by phone. So we're going to use por for this as well. So we talk, nosotros hablamos por 45 minutos, and then by phone, por teléfono. So this one calls for a double por. So vamos a repetir eso también. Nosotros hablamos por 45 minutos por teléfono. Muy bien. Número 4. They buy all the fruits for $15. Here's the purchase category, which we spoke about. And when you talk about an exchange of money for a product, we use por as well to describe price. So they buy. Again, hopefully this exercise is a really good practice opportunity for those of you who have studied some Spanish before to use really a lot of different elements, because we need verb conjugation, we need vocabulary. So hopefully you're able to follow along with me. So ellos buy, the verb is comprar. We're going to conjugate to go with ellos, which is compran. Ellos compran all the fruits, todas las frutas, okay, for $15, por $15. Repita, por favor. Ellos compran todas las frutas por $15. Muy bien. Okay. And as I say every time, this repetition after we figure out the answer together is really important, because not only does it help you train good pronunciation, but also helps your brain to internalize this information. Because the more times you repeat something, the more times you write something, the more likely you are to remember it. Número 5, you all walk through the park. You all walk through the park. So you all, ustedes, okay, walk. El verbo es caminar. And so we have to make this to go with ustedes. So it's going to be caminan. Ustedes caminan. And then through the park, again, we talked about this kind of geography progression, I'll call it. So por el parque. Ustedes caminan por el parque. Ustedes caminan por el parque. Número 6. I am about to finish the movie. So this was another form that I kind of brushed over a little bit in my review, but we talked about things that you're about to do. We also use por, so we use a form of estar followed by por. Okay, so I am about to finish the movie. Yo estoy por, and then to finish, terminar la película. Repita. Yo estoy por terminar la película. Super. Okay, on to número 7. The song is by the music teacher. This is the authorship category I spoke about. So if it's a book, a song, a presentation, to express who did it, we use por. So this song is by the music teacher. The song, sorry, not this. La canción es por, and then la profesora de música o el profesor de música, depending on what the gender of the teacher. Ok, todo junto. Repita conmigo. La canción es por el profesor de música. Excelente. Ok. Y número 8, 10 times 2 equals 20 into our math category, as I explained, to some multiplication. So 10. So here's where we need our number knowledge. 10 por 2 son 20. Nice and simple, although if you need to brush up on your numbers, great to do that before this question. 10 por 2 son 20. 10 times 2. We use por to express the times part in Spanish. Okay, número 9. Número 9. We're almost there. 2 more to go. You formal, speak on his behalf. So again, we spoke about this use of por is on someone's behalf or to do something in place of someone else. Like, for example, if someone has a job they need to do, but then they get sick, and so someone else needs to cover for them, take their place, then we can use por, like I do the work for him. Okay, not like a gift, but it's in his place. Okay, you formal, speak on his behalf. Usted, being the you formal, usted. And then we need the verb to speak, hablar, and the conjugation going with usted is habla. Usted habla por él. You can keep it nice and simple. Usted habla por él. You speak on his behalf. You speak in his place. Usted habla por él. Okay, y finalmente, last one, número 10. She has 2 jobs for reasons of money. This one's a little bit long. So she has 2 jobs. Ella, now we're the verb tener coming into use here. Ella tiene, irregular conjugation for tener. Again, if you need review on that one, please feel free to check out the video on the website where we practice with tener. Ella tiene 2 trabajos, 2 jobs, 2 trabajos, por, so expressing the cause or the reason. So then this is one of the most common times we're going to use por, is to express the cause or the reason for something. So ella tiene 2 trabajos por razones, reasons, razones de dinero. Por favor, repita. Ella tiene 2 trabajos por razones de dinero. Muy bien. Excelente trabajo. So that wraps up this exercise. As I said, today we focused more primarily on por, which has more uses than para. So I think it requires a little bit more practice. But next time we'll be taking our focus onto para and then doing some comparative exercises, so you can really kind of put your skills to the test to see if you know when is the proper time to use por, when is the proper time to use para. This is the kind of thing you need to practice a lot if you're going to do it successfully. So again, I highly recommend, if you want to use our website as a resource, to check out the previous videos, and also this video, once I'm finished, will be posted up on the website as well. So there's lots of lots of content there to check out on this particular theme and many other topics. As I said, all of the videos we've made for this community programming are all up on our website, so it's really a treasure trove of information. Okay, that's all for today's video. I'll be back next on Wednesday at 12. Gracias.